What's up, waves, and welcome back to Anime Lane, the podcast where we take you down the yellow brick road of anime and have a look at everything it has to offer. As always, I'm Notorious, and once again, I am joined today by Shaun.
Yo.
And Melina.
Whoa.
We're going to be taking a dental journey, a hygienic journey.
Is that what we're describing it
Please
as?
don't do that.
Through the Dragon Dentist.
I know it's called Dragon Dentist, but you didn't have to say dental journey.
That's
That's so lame.
I was trying to think of some fucking... No.
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 Let's stick with dental for now,
I mean,
shall we?
it's a podcast. It technically is an oral journey.
Shut the fuck up. just shut the fuck up.
I don't want to be involved anymore.
And then we'll embark on another caper with the Lupin gang, which is it's been a little while.
It has.
Yeah.
Especially for us behind the scenes. So I think we'll start with, as usual, the first one I mentioned, Dragon Dentist, because
Huh.
yeah.
Hmm.
Who wants to start?
Title's accurate.
Yeah.
Yep.
There was a dragon. The dentists of the dragon.
Yeah.
There were teeth.
A lot of
Oh,
teeth.
there were
A lot of
teeth.
teeth.
Oh. Oh,
The
teeth.
things around that teeth and what came out of the teeth. There was a lot of teeth.
Yeah. There was a lot of stuff narratively that involved the teeth that just made no fucking sense.
They don't care to explain. It's just mystical dragon births the dead. I'm like,
Yeah.
I like fantasy, and I understand the entire genre of fantasy is about shit that doesn't make sense.
But you have to have like some logic,
Internal logic.
Some internal logic, yeah. You need to be able to drop into something and be able to learn how these things
Yeah,
work.
on some
Yeah.
level, you need to explain this shit.
I love how it explains things so little that you get like 10 minutes from the end and suddenly it's just like they have captured the wisdom tooth and you're like, I'm sorry, what?
that's a thing.
And then it's like the wisdom tooth is why these people live on the dragon and why it protects their country. And I'm like,
Would have liked to know that before, maybe.
but
okay.
wait, it's been protecting a country, and then you find out it's like been protecting a country on the ground, and you're like, up until the point she fell off, we had no reason to believe that anything was going on down on the ground.
Well, it
Yeah.
opens up and like
It opens
war,
up like
but-
that, but like the assumption with those battleships is that they were some war that happened prior to where we end up
Oh.
starting.
Okay.
Like that's the way I always interpret that beginning, because it's like a very modern sort of battleship. And then it's like we jump to them being on the dragon and cleaning its teeth, and they're all kind of maybe early 1500s.
Yeah, it's very shabby sort of housing on like
Yeah.
the back or like the jaw of this
Yeah, so my
dragon. Counterpoint though, halfway through we get a modern jumbo jet.
Yeah, there's just the
that
fucking
does
jumbo
happen.
jet.
Yeah, no, that's what I mean. Like, and that happens when she like falls from the tooth, or that happens at the beginning of the second episode.
It's such a
Yeah,
weird
yeah.
thing to say.
It is, because like for the first episode, that's my interpretation of events, because it's like it gives you nothing to believe that there's anyone left on like the surface. It's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
kind of like there was some war with dragons, and now people live on those dragons because of this war, I guess, because it's safer or something. And then it's not until later that it's like she falls off and it's like, no, there's just like World War II going on down here, and it's like,
And the dragon can't help.
yeah, the dragon can't help because
Mystical dragon bullshit.
reasons.
Dragon just go.
But also the dragon
Dragon
is
care
like,
not, but also dragon care way too fucking much.
Special about its teeth.
Especially about
yeah, and the dragon is like the central like conflict point as well, and it's like,
and it's
what
also God?
yeah. There's also like the mention of like more than one dragon, but we only ever see
Yeah, that's why it's
Yeah.
one dragon.
well, it's just overpowered if you have the one dragon. And that's
Yeah.
why it's unfair. I'd retreat if they're like, well, they have the dragon. I'm like, oh, well, never mind.
Okay, we're gonna beat them in this war. How could think of strategies? They've got the dragon, sir. What the fuck are we supposed to do? Oh.
Yeah, and the dragon, he holds this little pot. He's
Yeah,
just always
he's,
holding a pot and a utensil. I don't remember what the other thing.
It's what he's holding are shrine utensils, I think.
Ah.
So there's some, I guess, religious undertone there.
I mean,
that
I
I'm
mentioned
not
earlier, the
quite
dragon's sort of God.
Yeah, but I'm not up on my Shinto, like Buddhism, enough
Yeah.
to really
Know what it really means.
because there is this whole
Yeah.
like iconography of I don't think it's called Shintoism, but like that sect of religion that's in Japan
It's just
with
Shinto.
Shinto. Yeah, it just feels weird to say that
I know.
on its own when I'm describing the whole thing. But
I mean,
like,
if I'm wrong, then I apologize.
yeah,
But
there's like a temple like thing on its back, and there's
Mm-hmm.
like Shinto priests and stuff that you see later in the OVA film special, whatever the fuck this is. So it's like I don't really I can't tell what exactly they're going for.
No.
There's too many different elements that conflict with each other.
it's like 7 different people had different ideas on where to go on this.
Yeah.
And one was a little too obsessed with teeth. Maybe more,
No.
more than
Teeth
one.
was the guiding thing behind
Uh-huh.
all of it. They all really liked teeth. They just didn't
Yeah.
know why they liked teeth.
And so many cavities. Jesus Christ. These dentists are not doing their job.
No.
If they keep getting this many cavities.
Can we talk about how she's like, oh, I like the feel of the plaque on the dragon's tooth as well, and it's like,
But he doesn't eat. How does he get plaque?
yeah, and also you should be cleaning that shit off, not
Yeah.
It's like, I
giving
love
it a
his like,
feel.
no. Get it off. Get it off. It's your job.
Bitch, that's nasty.
That's just unhygienic.
Exactly. It really is. And you're supposed to be the hygiene person.
I also love, I think at some point, what's the new kid's name again?
Belle.
Belle. Oh,
Belle.
Belle.
Yeah.
Belle.
Bell.
Belle. So, like, at some point, Belle's just assigned some teeth. Like, everyone
Yeah.
has their assigned teeth.
Because this like, it doesn't spend any time establishing like his place within the group. After he just shows up, it kind of does this brief montage to like speed up the relationship between him and the lead girl,
No.
Nonoko.
Yeah.
This time I remembered the name.
And then it's just like, yeah, he's like almost fully trained, so he can get his own assignment now. And it's like, oh,
Okay.
okay.
How's he now? Really? You know, you seem to care about these teeth, but it's been like 3 days. And you're like, you deserve your own teeth, boy.
Movie, you can't just throw a montage at us and expect us to just accept that. Time has not passed for us.
And then the moment he gets like assigned teeth is just when shit goes like totally fucking wrong.
Of course.
Yeah.
And like all the plot starts happening.
They
but
didn't
we've
train him
had
well.
No.
establishment of this plot.
We have Cavity Girl. What was her name again?
Look, they're all fucking cavity girls. You're going to need to be more specific.
Oh, the one that went full cavity is the only way I can best describe
You mean
it.
she put a
Merged.
dragon tooth in her mouth?
Yes.
Which, by the way, we interact with her like what 2-3 times before
Yeah,
that happens.
pretty much.
No time to like actually form a connection with
The
her.
most
No.
time the film pays attention to her is right before she fucking betrays everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, oh shit, we got to give her a backstory so that this makes sense.
The thing is, it gives her backstory and then
Later.
No,
Because-
it gives it to you before, like right before she betrays everyone, which is not an interesting way to tell that story.
No, I feel like if they left it all towards the end, where
Uh-huh.
she goes into the teeth realm, it's the best way
Goes
I can
full
put
teeth.
it. She goes full teeth. Like if
I
we
hate this so much.
like we just see her, oh, she's a villain. We don't get it, and then we're like, oh,
Yeah,
would have been better.
I think it would have been more compelling to just like not establish her character outside of the fact that clearly all the other dentists like have a lot of respect for her, and then have her betray everyone, because that's, you know, it's tropey as fuck, but
But it
it's,
works.
At least it's something.
yeah, it's something. And then, you know, you reveal her backstory later, as fucking creepy as it is, and then that's more interesting because you
wants
kind of
to-
have that click moment.
She wants to make sure her husband returns from the teeth.
We
Not
need to talk
husband.
about the fact that that's not her husband.
That's a 40-year-old guy.
That's a 40-year-old guy, and
Well,
she's like
they did-
15 at the time.
Well, then they really did not do that well.
Are you telling me you didn't notice that she looked creepily young?
Yeah.
And he looked
This is
old?
anime. This would happen.
We are not going down the route of this is a 4,000-year-old demon.
Well,
Because the film does not, you know,
sorry.
play into that at all. She is just like young as fuck.
She is at like most like 15, 16.
Yeah, and he's easily like late.
He's got a
30s.
full beard.
Yeah, and with anime, that's like always a clear like demarcation that this person is older.
Yeah, like 30s,
Yeah.
40s. It's fucking creepy.
It is.
Then it's even worse. She tries to return her groomer from the teeth.
Yeah.
And not only that, when we get like the flashback,
Oh, let's not. Oh.
we're going there. We get into the flashback where she like has the vision of him when they're all like
As she feels starts making out with him, and
Oh,
you
yeah.
see the like.
the tongue.
That's why I thought they were something.
No, I mean they were something. I
It's
think.
creepy as fuck,
It's just
though.
creepy.
Yeah,
though.
okay. Worse than I thought it was somehow, but okay.
I don't know how you didn't
Yeah.
like pick up on this.
Fully didn't.
I think
know.
did you stop caring at that point?
No, not even. Like, I weirdly got through this, like, caring about everything. I was like,
I did
I
not.
didn't.
I was
Like-
playing a game on my phone throughout
Oh
both
my
of these
God.
episodes. It was the only thing that could keep me like honed in.
I just sat down. I was like, let's do this. And I was like, maybe it was just my constant confusion. I'm like, they'll explain it. I just need to pay attention and they'll explain it.
I understand what you're going with because I also tried so much to pay attention, but like I couldn't.
It was so
I
hard.
should mention I watched it dubbed, so like that's
Oh.
how I was. I
yeah,
wasn't
yeah.
just like letting them yammer on
Blah,
in
blah, blah,
Japanese.
blah, blah,
and be like,
I'm guessing we both
Yep.
watched it subbed.
Yes.
So that probably
I
played into
started
that.
watching it subtitled again and realized I got like 5 minutes in and was like, I haven't read a single line outside of like the opening where it flashes up like the text and like does that fucking piss poor excuse of an explanation, and then like the
Yeah.
battleship scene, and I'm like, my brain just like fully disconnected.
It was the jumbo jet where they fully, I was like, okay, present day. I'm here.
Yeah,
Let's go. I get it. And then they're like, no.
At that point, I just start asking, what are the dragon rules?
Yeah.
It's like, we've made a pact with the dragon. I'm like, can you tell me some more? I really don't know what you're talking
I
about.
love how like so contextless that opening scene for the second episode is that you're like, I guess someone's writing this, but why are we going meta? And then no.
Sorry, the line, the dragon ate the typhoon.
That I was about to say that because like the context is like she's in like a plane, they're going through like a typhoon or whatever, and
Which is technically caused by the dragon as well, I think.
We don't talk about that part.
but like the stewardess is like, oh, don't worry, we'll be fine, and then like it just stops, and she's like, and like the passenger's like, what happened? She's like, and the stewardess is just like, oh, the dragon ate it.
Is this part of your flight training? It's like, if typhoon, ask dragon, eat.
look, bitch, you get used to this after a while.
But like, I also thought it was like, oh, she's writing the story and like she's visualizing, oh, this dragon.
That's what I
fly-
thought, and then no.
Yeah, and then it was, I had to go back, like turn my laptop to my boyfriend. It's like, look at this. It's like, what happened? The dragon ate the typhoon. He was like, what is this about? I don't know.
This scene perfectly encapsulates like the whole like conflicting elements part of this series. You have them living on the back of a dragon and like samurai-esque times-esque, you know, like
Yeah.
housing and
Feudal.
clothes and feudal.
Ish.
Yeah. World War II battle, war and equipment.
World War II / World War One because it's very no man's land.
Yeah.
In trenches.
And then a woman on a jumbo jet, like a modern jumbo jet, on a laptop. It's like, hold on.
What universe is this?
Yeah.
Is this our universe but adjacent? Or is this just a weird mishmash of...
If there's like this
Shit.
massive war going on, how are there flight paths? If there are dragons
that's-
involved in this world,
I had
how
the
have we
exact
developed modern fucking jumbo jets?
Like, I remember having the thought, it's like, well, generally flights like this don't go over war zones because
Yeah.
safety.
Let alone fucking dragons.
Yeah.
Because
Like,
they
surely-
show in the establishing shot,
Uh-huh.
they are right next to the fucking dragon.
Yeah, surely
can't be
there's
safe.
some regulation like air controls, like you've got a dragon on your left if you could head northbound to avoid.
Not even regulation, I feel like it's common sense. Don't fly next to the fucking dragon.
Like, surely they have the flight path of the dragon, like, mapped out as well, so they can go, let's not fly in these places.
Yeah.
And also, from later on in the film, we see that the dragon kind of flies and lives over, like, a contested war zone.
It's got some drama to it. He's just flying away. He's like, what's happening over here? He's like,
But then why are they flying a commercial flight over that?
it's a good view.
No, you see, they went to the Amazing Spider-Man 2 school of side plots where they just get random plane drama.
Oh my god, this fucking thing.
Part of me totally forgot. I was like, oh yeah, it's up where there was a full-on jumbo jet.
Yeah.
They were
Yeah.
like, the dragon eats natural disasters. And
It just fucking noms
Okay.
on a typhoon.
okay. And then Big Tooth falls out of mouth as well.
And then Lady becomes Tooth Demon.
Yeah, another
Yeah.
point where my boyfriend looked at my mouse and was like, who's that? I was like, that is a human/cavity. He's like, this is the dentist movie, isn't it? I was like, yes, it is.
Well, I mean, with Cavity. It'd be really fucking weird if it wasn't.
Yeah.
But it's still pretty fucking weird that it is.
Yeah.
I love how the first episode kind of ends with that whole section. And then the second episode does nothing to deal with any of it for the longest fucking time.
It takes
would
about
they?
halfway through the second episode to actually get back to that plot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love Big Tooth falls. Tooth turns into little
Small ball tooth.
ball
Small
with nail.
compass. I think the idea is that the, like, appendage, the vestige, vestigial part of it.
Stick-looking thing.
Stick-looking
Pointy
thing.
part.
The pointy part, like, indicates the direction of the dragon.
But
or
if you
that's-
would just look up, you would see the dragon.
Yeah, but, you know, we've established this movie doesn't make a whole lot of
Everyone
sense.
is a fucking idiot.
Also, dragon has force field.
Yeah, let's
you
talk
need- you
about
need-
it.
Weirdly enough,
need
that's
the
the thing
tooth.
I immediately believed. Like, fuck it, sure, why not?
I remember messaging him going, it has a force field now?
Like, in the beginning, I was like, well, you know, it doesn't seem very practical to build a city on top. Like, someone could just shoot the city down.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
what my thought was. Is this entire time, I'm like, why has they just not been attacked yet?
Yeah. Like, this dragon doesn't seem to care about
But
its
it also
people.
kind of establishes that, like, the rival faction is also living on the dragon, kind of. Because remember, they come to collect Belle as, like, a prisoner of
I
war.
thought that was the higher ups of like this faction.
I don't
No, they're
fucking
kind
know.
of dressed
like-
in a similar way
The way
to Belle.
you're right, but like the way I got from that scene is that like the dragon dentists are like sort of adjacent to the army of, or like the protagonist army, but they're also sort of independent at the same time.
Okay.
So like that guy.
Defeated.
I'm not
I
saying it makes
guess.
sense. I'm just saying how I
I'm-
rationalized it.
I'm not even trying to understand at this point, because I don't think it'll ever make
But
sense.
you need the tooth to enter the force field, so they need to find the tooth so they can enter the force field.
That
and take
part,
the wisdom
Oh,
that
yeah, that's
part I
stupid.
understand totally.
Like, that's the part where you're like, of course.
Yeah.
Yes, get the wisdom.
It was just the force field just comes the fuck out of nowhere. And I'm like, yeah, sure, let's add an extra fucking MacGuffin they have to deal with.
Thankfully, the tooth has fallen.
You dropped a tooth.
Is this was it Gerard Butler? That was in, is this his new film series? Tooth Has Fallen.
I mean, that's yes.
Tooth has fallen.
Tooth has fallen. Just at some point, Gerard Butler appeared. The tooth.
Wait, no, on the topic of Gerard Butler, I need to fucking bring up. So I watched this in English, as I mentioned, like
Don't
the
tell
dub.
me Gerard Butler.
No.
Yeah.
They fall like to the like surface,
Oh,
right?
I think I know what you're
And
about to talk about.
They initially get like picked up by like the antagonist
Yeah.
faction, but then they're rescued by the
You sent me a clip of this.
the protagonist faction, who have the worst fucking Scottish accents I've ever heard.
Yeah, we didn't get that in like the Japanese version. Obviously, we don't know Japanese accent, so we don't know.
The
if they're
Japanese
doing it.
accent to me sounds normal, like maybe slightly regional, but I wouldn't say it's something I would, as like an
Yeah.
ADR director, then go, okay, let's have them do Scottish accents for this.
Yeah, the dub says otherwise. It's terrible.
Oh god, I'll have to
It's-
listen to it.
It's worse than Groundskeeper Willie.
Oh,
Yeah, Groundskeeper Willie. I'm not saying try, but at least it's in. Groundskeeper Willie's in a situation where like you know it's stupid.
Yeah, and there is like a vague Scottishness
Yeah,
there,
yeah, you can
whereas
tell.
like I had to rewind like 3 times and check that they were definitely attempting to do a Scottish accent.
I did the same when you sent me the clip.
And like if it were like a I thought, oh, this is going to be like a one-off scene thing where they meet these people and then, they're taken.
Is it all of them?
It's all of them.
I thought it was just that guy.
No.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
I think I cut out the part because I had to like try and trim it down so Discord would accept it. But like the camera pans round to like them all camped up, and all of them have Scottish accents.
All right, pal, how you doing?
I'm like, oh my god, look at them.
Little boy.
Oh, look at the wee fuckers.
And then one of them has like an Irish accent, and I'm like, no, please don't do this.
We're doing it. They can't tell the difference.
So until they get back onto the dragon, yeah, they're just there with those accents.
Wow.
I'm so glad I didn't watch it dubbed.
Same.
I would have felt so insulted.
The thing is, I was sitting there and I'm like, this is actually an alright dub. Because Sentai can be a bit flat with some of their dubs. Like the ADR direction's not particularly great. So you'll have some really good cast members, but then like they'll be delivering lines and you're like, oh wow, this is so bad. And this was fine. And then the Scottish people showed up. Well, they're not Scottish, that's for sure. The Americans
fake
trying to
Scots.
be Scottish.
The Scotch.
They showed up
Scotch.
like, I got this. My fourth removed grandfather lived in Scotland for a
Yeah,
year.
someone
I'm a
walked in that
descendant of,
studio and went,
of Bruce de Robert.
I am 1/8 Scottish.
My grandma's roommate's dog's vet was Scottish.
I think you got it now.
So what does that make us? Absolutely nothing.
Nothing. I just want to know, like, what went through their mind to land on that decision.
I think they stopped giving a shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably. Like, they probably put it in there just to make sure people were still paying attention.
Yeah, like we gotta have
It just-
something noteworthy in this dub.
your mind is just dragging. You're like, I'm supposed to be fucking Scottish. It's like, we got him back. Come on, go.
Could we talk about the overly extended monologue at the end of the film that has nothing to do with anything?
God.
My horse tried to kill me. It was fucking awesome. that was the monologue.
Oh yeah.
That is the weirdest, like, out of pocket moment.
It goes on for like
series.
5 minutes as well.
Yeah, it does.
It's at the end of the film.
It
That's
was
what
the
we
fact
close
that,
on.
like, I kind of stopped listening to what he was saying because I was paying more attention to what they were doing on the screen. Because he's narrating over events that have nothing to do with what he's talking about. This is like, rather than switch to seeing what Nonoko is doing to, like, put the tooth back. And
Yeah, the important one.
the important part, the actual thing we've set this whole fucking story up to be about. No, it's just soundlessly playing while, like, some emotional music is playing and Belle is just like, my horse tried to kill me. And I stopped listening and came back and he was still talking about the horse and I'm like, that's impressive, but stop.
I mean, it could have been a hilarious premise where he's like, just fully not acknowledging anything that happens in a movie. Like, in a comedy, that would have been hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this isn't a comedy.
No.
No, it tries to take itself seriously, I think. It's hard to
I
tell.
don't really know.
Like, I think even if you're in the production team of something so teeth heavy, you lose your sanity a bit. You have to.
Yeah.
Because to what extent are you like, so what teeth are we thinking? Because they're clearly, are human-esque teeth? Are we thinking more reptile-oriented? Should we get some experts in on this?
Let's get an expert in on dragon teeth.
Yep.
Are they fangs or normal teeth? It's whatever they want to be.
Also, I want to address that that's not really a dragon.
No, it
it's
doesn't
really
look
not.
very dragony.
No, the tail is so fucking long.
It's more like a flying salamander.
yeah,
Yeah.
like
Magic stuff around it.
Like a
I-
force field.
I would have
Excellent.
thought, like, given it's Japanese, maybe a more kind of Eastern interpretation.
Yeah, that's
of
what
a
I kind of
dragon.
expected.
Like Shenron from
Yeah.
Dragon Ball, but no, I don't know what that is.
It reminded me a lot, because I'm the Zelda fan, it reminded me of like one of the big enemies in like Skyward Sword, because it's like it's supposed to be like an aspect of like what Ganon is in that game, but it's very much the same sort of black scaly design, and it's got like just a giant mouth. But like, that's not a dragon.
No,
feel
That's
like
just a weird
yeah.
thing.
It seemed like they just designed it to serve the plot. It's like, well, it needs to be wide and like flat enough to have a town-ish, or some buildings, and he's a lot of teeth.
But isn't most of the town like attached to its underside or the sides?
Yeah.
So the teeth people, the dentists, are at the jaw, from what I know.
Yeah, roundabout.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the rest was just on top of its back, no?
Yeah, there was a sort of station.
I remember
like,
the temple being on the top, but I don't remember it.
It was like
it
some
was sort of like
station.
it was sort of like parts of like a battleship or something.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think they had a
Sort of command
helicopter pad
center.
as well.
Yeah. Sort of aircraft carrier esque.
I hate this fucking. I hate it so much.
Yeah, I just don't see, like, some movies I'm like, yeah, no, if I was a kid, I would really be like, I want to be a dragon dentist, but no.
No.
Like,
Nothing.
I don't. There's no like target audience that I'm like, yeah, I know who could appreciate this.
Real freak people.
Teeth people.
I'm not gonna ask the question of other people that are into teeth because just
You know the answer.
yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for that disturbing thought, Melina.
Make your point.
Welcome to the show.
Like normally when I watch something and I don't like it, I can at least say, oh, I can see how some people would appreciate it, or I see, you know,
There are aspects.
I
Yeah.
can see the demographic that this is aiming for, and I could go, well, I'm not part of it, so I didn't enjoy it. This, fuck if I know.
I can't imagine anyone really like being a hardcore fan of this.
No, the
The
general
most I see is
consensus-
guilty pleasure. And even then,
I don't think anyone would watch this as a guilty pleasure
No.
I
either.
don't know. Maybe some of the animation's nice.
Stylistically, I think it's not that great.
I thought some of the like animation of like the cavity, black, whatever the hell the monsters were, could be pretty nice. But like past that, it was sort of standard.
See, my issue with it is that it was straying into the territory of bad CG mixed with 2D for the cavity stuff. There were some really nice moments, like when what's her name? Tooth Girl.
Should be something or other.
Shabar?
Her. I'm gonna look up her name. 2 seconds.
Shabar? Someone?
Shish kebab.
It is Shibu something.
Shibbity bop bop.
Shaboob.
I'm a scat
Man,
man.
skibbity
Feels on brand, you know? It doesn't hit any niche quite as it should, this movie, to me.
No.
Like, oh, you have the war thing, but it doesn't go into it enough for someone to be like, oh, I like war.
I think that's the big thing about it. There's so many ideas and it never really goes anywhere beyond surface deep.
Yeah.
Even when they go full on very deep into the tooth, it doesn't feel more than surface deep.
Shibana. Like when she's transforming from
Shibanana.
human to like, and she's like in that in between moment, like from, you know, human to full
Yeah, when she's-
cavity monster.
Transforming.
There's some nice 2D stuff there, and then it kind of just switches at the end to 3D, and I'm like, can we not do that?
Can we be consistent?
I've just realized now, thinking back, her like sort of final design, the really pointy sort of design, reminds me of Darkrai from Pokemon.
Oh yeah. See, I couldn't get Kill la Kill out of my head when I seen it because she looks like the form that the main character in that takes. Because I remember mentioning Kill la Kill to you. 'Cause I think the character designer
And I said I should watch that at some point.
worked on it with the
That's a very anime design as well.
yeah. That's go away. Fuck away.
Go away, stylish.
Yeah, it's kind of, I guess, the pointiness of it.
I was thinking
Yeah.
praying mantis
It does kind of.
it also looks like that as well. She
from Kung Fu Panda, to be specific.
Kung Fu Panda.
Kung Fu Panda.
I like the Kung Fu Panda.
It's a crossover.
Kung Fu Panda, but it's Donkey Kong.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'd watch that.
Oh, same.
I'm trying to see if the actress that plays Shibana is like a pretty big Japanese actress called Megumi
I see Evangelion.
Hayashibara. Yeah, she's
She's in some of the Pokemon movies. Well, she's in one 3 times.
and Eva, she's Rei. And then yeah, she's in Pokemon. She plays Chimchar in the Japanese
She's
version
Jessie.
and Jessie.
Wow.
And whatever the other Pokemon is, that I don't know the name of.
She's been in a lot of anime, and surprisingly, I think Dragon Dentist, looking at it, other than Vampire Hunter D, but we couldn't watch that. in Japanese. Is like the only thing so far we've covered that has her in it, which is surprising. I just didn't realize that was her.
I will say, from what I could tell, all like the actors did a good job of what they had,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like I said, the dub actors were pretty good as well.
except for the Scots.
Except for the Scottishness. Yeah, let's not do that again, please, guys.
Just remove that and you're fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it's a classic case of maybe get people that are specific to that.
Or just
Yeah.
or just don't do that, because I think that also would have been equally as confusing if real Scottish people had
I mean, it
suddenly
would
just
be
started voicing these
distracting.
characters.
Regardless.
Yeah, because like they're meant to be a faction that's kind of linked to the Dragon Dentists, and I think
Yeah.
that would have been really confusing if suddenly they were just all of these guys were Scottish, yet all the Dragon Dentists we've met, at least in the dub, were American.
Okay.
That would have been very
hilarious. Because
yeah.
if it's this universe, a dragon shows up, the American and the Scottish are like, yeah, let's get on this. No one else. It's just them. They're like, yeah, this sounds cool. Sounds cool. And maybe the Irish ?
Yeah, I mean that one guy I think was trying to do a Scottish accent. It just kind of ended up sounding like but yeah, so this was Studio Khara that animated this. That's the studio that's done the Evangelion reboot movies, and this is their only production other than those.
Okay.
So it's not, you know, a fantastic first impression, I guess,
No, it's
of
really
what
not.
they can do outside of it.
Like I said, there were some things that were nice, but most of it was kind of meh.
Yeah, I don't even think the director has done much other than like storyboard and kind of.
I've made my magnum opus, I'm done.
I think he was like co-director on the Ava reboots, and that was kind of his big thing. And other than like, you know, storyboarding and stuff like that, so you know, maybe don't let him do a full production on his own.
Maybe not. If this is anything to go by, don't.
The writer's like a famous author as well, but no, I didn't recognize any of his works as being translated into English. So yeah, I think we've said most of what we can say about this. I don't.
My
think
only
I
closing
have.
thought I wanted to get through is that I feel like what really sums this whole thing up for me is that it feels like a 20 episode long series
Yeah.
that was condensed into
I
2
could
40-minute
easily
episodes.
see this being like a 2-core, like 24 episode series. Like the end of the first episode is the end of like a 12 episode arc.
Yeah,
And
like you
then-
have that as like the first half of the
Uh-huh.
season with like Shibana going evil as like the twist.
Yeah, like I could really see it as being like you get to the end of that episode, that's the end of like the first 12 episodes, and then you go into the next one where we have like the second half of the storyline, and there's like a new opening,
Yeah.
like animation and stuff like that, and it's like, you know, I don't get why this was a special or like a 2 episode thing that kind of amounted to a movie. It doesn't, with the amount of story things they're putting in, doesn't make any sense. If it was a pilot, it shouldn't have been released to the public.
Yeah, if it was a pilot, it shouldn't have had that much shit in it.
No, well, the
Exactly.
interesting thing is this was like developed from, I guess, a pilot that was in the Japanese Animator Expo in
Yeah, 'cause it was
2015.
It was a
think.
short, wasn't it?
Yeah, and it was like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So they've then turned that 5 minutes into 110 or something that this amounts to.
Yeah.
And then it really should have been developed into a TV series, I think.
I think it would have potential
Yeah.
for a TV series because then they can really delve into
Yeah, if-
some of the underlying themes,
They'd
especially.
have the space to
Yeah.
actually build on shit.
And like all these elements could have at least made some amount of sense together.
Yeah, I mean, there's still stuff you've got to like cut, like the jumbo jet.
Yeah,
You're never gonna
cut
make that work
whole
for me.
typhoid
Yeah.
section from
no
it.
need, had no impact
No.
whatsoever.
It was just there, and then it was gone.
Also, one small thing at the end, you know, you have the cavity monster that's just killing everyone.
Yeah.
Dragon high kill count, just saying. And then they put the tooth back, and all the cavity long ass fucking arms turns into tooth, which then just falls to the earth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Can we talk about it only killing people with malice and that there's just one guy on the battlefield who's still alive?
Yeah, I
'Cause
thought
they're
maybe
like, no,
like
hold on.
total 3-4 maybe.
Yeah, they're like, it's not killing everyone, and then the next shot we see is it sweeps over everyone, and I'm like, no, they're all dead, and one
then
guy just
one-
gets back up.
I'm like, what the fuck?
Not just that, they say it kills everyone with murderous intent, and meanwhile the main bad guy is slaughtering an entire temple of monks, and he doesn't get killed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there is that whole thing at the end where, like, Belle is, like, pointing the gun at him, and I guess, like, there isn't necessarily... Because he's, like, a trained, you know, like, army person...
Armored person, I believe they're called soldiers.
Soldier. You never know, he might be a marine and they don't like being called soldiers. Whatever.
We're not going into that.
Like, because he's trained for that, like, I guess going in and doing that, it's like, I guess there's some mechanical response to that in terms of how he's feeling inside, so there may not be any malice in that. Whereas
Still.
when Belle points the gun at him, I guess, you know, he gets a bit angry.
Just a bit angry.
That's weak.
Just enough for the tentacle to take a full conversation to appear and kill him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest, that's just weak.
It is weak, but you've explained things from this that are piss weak
I
as well.
explained that one thing. Not things, that one thing.
Again, that one thing, weak.
Like, you know, sometimes you can be like, well, you know, I can see what they were trying to do, or like, maybe it's connected to this. If you ask me to explain anything from this movie, like, oh, so it kills people, but some people come back through the teeth as dentists, and the other people stay in the teeth, but all their, like, armor and shit just gets dumped in the gums, and then the dentists have to clean it
Yeah,
up.
that was confusing as
They're
well.
like, oh, this is annoying. I'm like, can we... So everyone who dies goes into the teeth. Teeth is heaven.
What
How?
are the dragon rules?
That is the biggest, like, question of this whole thing is, what are the dragon rules?
What are the dragon rules?
Yeah.
Why are we fighting this fucking war? They never explained what the war is actually about.
How did we discover the thing with the dragon teeth? Like, how did that become known to people?
The movie does not fucking care.
No. Like, how have we established this
you're
whole
right.
society around this? How did we find that out? Because you'd have to get to the dragon's mouth first.
And be like, this is a nice place to live.
And then who figured out the ritual of, like, the becoming a dragon dentist? You know, the people
Yeah,
who then see their own death.
Yeah.
And
I mean, you know, there's got to be a first and then a second, and they're like, oh my god, did you have this
how
as well?
did
Oh
they,
my god.
how did they get up onto the
That
dragon?
should have been this movie.
Exactly. Like, oh.
Like, the wisdom tooth just comes out of nowhere
It
right
really
at the end,
does.
and then they're like, this is, like, the key to, like, the pact they have with the dragon, and I'm
Yeah,
like,
but, like-
fucking when?
Yeah, but the wisdom tooth as well. It's like, okay, so you pulled the wisdom tooth. Is the dragon smart enough to know that you're harming it for good?
There's the thing is though, is they were like, oh, you know, we took his wisdom tooth out, and I'm like, famously a set of teeth that you don't really need, and
Yeah.
most
Yeah.
people have removed.
Maybe it's because it's called the wisdom. They were like, yeah, we're taking it.
It's smart.
I hate this movie. I hate this so much.
Yeah, like, I legit, I want to make sense of it because I'm like, no, something could work, but I'm like, no, they don't explain how sentient this dragon is, so we don't know. All we know is sometimes he goes, ah.
It was sentient enough to pick up its utensils when they come back up
That's
off
true.
the ground.
Yeah, we're it just never really explains that if this is, like, the common fantasy trope of, like, dragons that are even more intelligent than humans, or if it's just another animal.
Yeah.
The thing is, we can only really, from the movie, glean that it's running off of some sort of instinct more than anything. Like, there's no... Like, they never communicate directly with the dragon.
No, it
and-
doesn't speak.
No. And they kind of make it seem like they've made a pact with it, but at the same time, I'm like, you're not
How?
giving us anything to
Yeah.
really
Yeah, like-
have proof of that.
It's like saying I made a pact with my toddler. I'm like, yeah, they're 4 years old.
Yeah.
They
To
don't
me,
know.
it just looks like they're worshipping that tooth. And it's like, sure, if that's
Where you want to go
how you
with.
want to wrap it up, fair enough. Like...
Pact would imply both parties agree.
Yeah.
no?
And I don't know if they're just dressing it up like that to make it seem like it's a mutually beneficial.
I mean, it is not for the.
It's not.
I mean, the dragon has dentists. Now.
But I feel like the dragon didn't need that. Like, I feel like events. I feel like the humans are the direct cause of the events that are taking place.
How
I feel like
relevant.
if the dragons needed the dentist, they wouldn't have survived this
We are
long.
not saying that this film is a whole thing about environmentalism. We're not fucking going down that route.
That was the other movie.
That was the
we were
other
gonna talk
movie.
about.
Yeah.
You'll get there.
Yeah. We'll get there at some point. But, again, you cannot attempt to explain anything in this movie.
No.
Because you're just like, okay.
The fact that we've spent 45 minutes trying.
Oh god, it's been 45
I've been
minutes.
trying to move on for at least 10.
I'm sorry, there's just stuff keeps coming up. I'm like, hold on, what the fuck does this mean?
The fuck's that?
Big tooth falls. Tooth turns into tiny tooth. Tiny tooth compass.
Tooth.
Tiny tooth allows you to go into force field.
Tooth demon lady.
And then tooth demon lady.
Tooth demon lady.
Who they save?
Not really. She just... actually, this reminds me, right at the end, I think at
They
some
pull
point...
her out of the tooth.
Yeah, but like right at the end, they go, she's probably going to do that again.
I mean, she's also obsessed with this tooth. It's like, I shall give my life for the teeth. Like,
The end message
don't.
with her, if I'm remembering right, is that she's probably going to do that again. And that I admire that. And I'm like, no, you fucking idiot. Shoot her out of the sky.
Didn't she realize that what she was doing was just like totally and utterly pointless anyway, though?
But they still say she's going to do that again.
Yeah.
Which is a weird interpretation.
Yeah, that or something along the lines of continue her quest or whatever.
Her quest
to
is
me-
to die for the teeth.
Yeah, which to me just translates as she's going to fucking do it again.
Oh, this movie makes no sense. Can we please move the
Yes.
fuck on?
Okay.
Shall we rate it?
Yes, let's rate it. 3 out of 10.
2 out of 10.
A nice 2.5.
Okay.
0.5 for the
Nice.
dragon.
In
The
the
fact
middle.
that I was a dragon.
Really?
That's why I'm giving it 2 and not 1.
I'm giving it. Why am I giving it a 3? I have no justification.
Don't be kind.
No.
Let me think. This is the thing as I was talking about. I think I mentioned to you, Shaun, not long ago, is that like people don't use the scale of 1 to 10 very well. Is it's always like 7 through 10 or
Yeah.
like 3 to 1. There's never like 4, 5, 6.
Yeah.
I gave a 6 out of 10 to a game and told someone, they were like, "What didn't you like about it?" And I'm like, "I thought it was okay."
Yeah.
And that's why I gave it a 6.
That's above average.
Yeah. And I was like, that's okay. That means that I like some things about it. There's stuff I don't like. And I just kind of was fine with it.
Yeah.
This, I don't want to just give a 1, but I also don't think there's many redeeming qualities about it.
I think it earns its low score.
Yeah. The only thing I can give it is that it was competently animated.
That's it.
That is literally it. That is all I can give it, because I did not like the soundtrack for this one. I thought the music just had no sense of identity. There were too many different things going on. It would just change style from scene to scene and make no sense. Like, all the combat music was like electronic. And I'm like, what is going
It
on?
just thematically didn't fit.
No. Yeah, I think I'll 1.5.
Wow.
The more I think about this, the more I genuinely dislike
yeah,
it.
that's. I watched. I was like 2.5. I'm not gonna touch it because that's my feelings after the movie.
Yeah.
2.5. Would it go lower if I thought about it more? Absolutely.
I've had 2 days to sit with it, so I think it's like a 1.5.
Fair.
I've had about 3 because I watched it on Friday. Today's Tuesday. So
Yeah, I watched it on Saturday, so
yeah, 2.
yeah, 1.5 I think.
If I keep thinking about it, it'll go back to 1.
Yeah,
The
I'm not touching
dragon
it.
doesn't save it for me because it's not like any sense of like.
And like his little hand
Interesting.
holding the little things.
Okay.
it's gripping.
Shut the fuck up.
This fucking thing wasn't gripping,
Done.
that's for sure. Moving on to Lupin, please.
I had fun, but it's not a smart movie.
No, we got Nujiko at least.
Nujiko.
Nujiko.
We're not calling her
Disappointing.
Nujiko. That scene made no fucking sense.
No.
It didn't, but I appreciated getting to see I appreciate getting to see Fujiko.
Perf.
Fucking
And
perv.
be no, but like in a sense of like outside of those scenes, right, where she's like kind of brainwashed or whatever. Like this is
Kind of brainwashed
Kinda,
or
she
whatever.
kind of she was
She
like
was straight up.
She didn't know
say
her
that.
fucking name.
like she's herself. Whereas for most of these movies that we've watched, it's kind of in the middle into whether she's Fujiko or not.
It's not mammal levels where she's just Princess Peach.
Yeah.
They give her agency and they make her cool. Even though this is also the movie where she seems to have a clause in her contract where we always have to see her cleavage.
Yeah.
That's kind of her whole thing in general, I'd say.
I know,
Yeah.
but in the other movies it wasn't as obvious.
We had a lot of like skin type but high necked in the other
Yeah,
ones.
but we've also watched like the first and Cagliostro and Cagliostro is Miyazaki, so more family friendly. And the first is influenced by Cagliostro. So
Okay,
those
yeah.
two.
I guess it was most obvious when we first see her because it's a normal shirt, but there's just a big boob window.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, come on, guys.
So she's like tutoring this kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, maybe cover up a bit.
This kid, I did not like that fucking
No.
kid.
Okay, why? It's supposed to be funny, but she keeps calling him pedophile.
She does.
I don't like it.
Wait, do they say pedophile in the dub?
Yeah.
You watch a dub.
Oh,
I
she
watched
just
the dub.
calls him a pervert in the subtitles.
Oh no, in dub she calls him pedophile. That's what she called. That's to her. That's his name.
You know when I brought up like when we were watching stuff and I was like, oh, there's like different casts, and I was like, there's the one that with like Tony Oliver as Lupin and Richard Epcar and all that who are like the good cast, and then there's like the Funimation cast.
Yeah.
This was also my other issue with the Funimation stuff is that they are fucking liberal as hell.
Oh yeah.
And their interpretation of some stuff. That's way too intense.
Pervert would have been. It's still obviously
she
not
does
great, but
ask-
it makes more sense.
Yeah.
Creep would have done it for me. I said that's a good level to be Creep.
Yeah, she does ask if he's a lolicon, like I think in the like very start, but she just calls him a perv after that.
Yeah, no. Throughout the entire dub, she calls him pedophile. She's fucking screaming it. Even at the end when like they're supposed, she doesn't like hate him or anything. She's like pedophile. I hated it.
The parents should be like, excuse me, who's that?
dude,
Like, come over
These
here.
parents do not give up.
My first
One obviously does not.
my first reaction was, how the fuck does she even know that word? She's like,
Yeah.
4.
That was my question. I was like, what? How do you know what a fucking lolicon is?
They don't even question how like that though.
I mean, she spends all her free time in the vaults. We don't know what's in the fucking
Yeah,
To
I
be
mean,
fair,
the
the moment we
parents aren't
meet her,
shit.
she's been with Fujiko, so I guess all bets are off and what she
I mean,
knows.
fair enough, yeah.
And the parents are shit.
They are.
Yeah.
They try to make the mum more sympathetic, but like, well, actually, they make the mum character weird because like,
Both of these characters are such nothing characters. They're vessels for the plot.
yeah, they make the mum sort of more interesting. Where like, she's like, maybe I should run then, as a sort of like implying that she's also sort of power hungry. But then after that, she becomes standard wailing mum character.
Again, I think
Yeah.
that's really just like they've made her do whatever is needed to like move the story along realistically, because it's like you then find out it wasn't really her idea. She wasn't going to be running on any platform of her own kind. It was all through the Nostradamus sect that was going to be like her presidential standing. So it's like, well, there goes her agency as a character, and now she's just sad mum.
Sad mum.
Yeah.
Which, fair enough, your child went missing.
Yeah, I get it, but you know, it's also very standard.
Yeah.
I mean, they sent their child off with a tutor to go to Brazil. To just
Yeah, what
Yeah,
was
this
that
was
all
the
about?
weird thing is they come from Brazil, and like the Brazilian football team are coming for her birthday.
Yeah.
I
That's some
mentioned
rich
this to you.
people shit.
I totally interpreted that as these parents have no fucking idea what to get a kid for their birthday, and they're rich, so they just go, oh, we'll just get the best football team in the world to play.
Yeah.
But she was also in Brazil as well.
yeah.
Going off of that, it's probably more of a public event for them than
Maybe,
an actual
yeah.
birthday party.
Let's talk about Brazil and the plane ride that gets hijacked.
Oh yeah,
This whole thing is like weirdly. Did anyone? No, I was gonna say people. They paid too much attention to world events
oh
I mean,
yeah.
it's
when writing
pre-
this script.
Pre-night.
No. But there was a terrorist attack on the Twin Towers before this. in
Yeah, the
1993.
1993 bombing, and this movie
yeah,
came out
yeah.
in 1995.
Ah, okay. Explains it.
It's so pre 9/11 that it's also takes way too much inspiration from another terrorist attack on.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love the... So
When
they,
that was the terrorist attack on
Yeah.
the World Trade Center.
these terrorists don't know what they're doing, first of all.
They're Lupin terrorists.
They're
so they're
Lupin
fucking
terrorists.
dumb.
Then they land. The man, a million? What was it? Just a million?
I guess, I think.
Which is not... Oh, I don't want to say it's not a lot.
Not a lot when fucking Fujiko's on a contract for 50.
Yeah, it was just
exactly.
this little fucking kid.
And then they're like, okay, we'll let the women and children go. I'm like, well, that's your one bargaining chip you had over there.
What have we got left? The guys?
Yeah, they don't care. And then they, at some point, they get out of The plane immediately fully
Yeah.
just shot to death.
Yeah,
I'm like,
they're
I
gone.
know they're terrorists. Jesus Christ. But they said 1 foot outside and we just see guns ablazing.
He has a knife. I love that whole opening scene that we're like, they're gone. Lupin has the bomb. Zenigata comes out.
Oh, and
he's
Zenigata like starts defusing.
yeah,
it.
instead of running with Lupin to escape, he's like, I'm gonna defuse this bomb.
He legit said, it's my duty. I'm like, no!
Dude, no!
I know how to do this. You just do this and that, and oh no, the timer isn't stopping. Oh, okay, I guess I'll do it. And it's
At the end, he's just rapidly pulling everything.
He fucking bashes that thing to shit, and it's still counting down.
At that point, you're like, well, he took the bomb parts off.
Yeah, what's it counting down to at this
Yeah,
point?
like it's just the timer
Yeah.
now. Because it was implied the bombs are in the case.
yeah.
He took everything out of the case.
timer
but
was the actual
timer-
bomb. Everything else was just fluff.
Oh my god.
He survives that, by the way.
He
And
does.
I'm gonna be honest, this feels like a movie where he didn't need to be there.
No,
Which I know for Zenigata, that's
most of
them, but at
Yeah.
least it didn't feel like it was funny enough to be earned.
Yeah, they kind of then try and make the joke of his character in this movie that he thinks Lupin's dead and so he's depressed, but
Yeah.
at the same time they don't do enough with
No.
that.
There's one funny scene that comes out of that when like he's mourning with like Goemon and Jigen, and then he goes, "Wait a minute, I'm supposed to arrest them. Oh, they're gone."
I think this movie, for me, really, like, establishes, like, Zenigata doesn't want to kill Lupin. Just wants to
No,
arrest
no,
him.
no.
Just like Lupin doesn't want to kill Zenigata. They both enjoy
They love
the chase.
Yeah.
so
It's all
much.
about the chase.
And, like, as much as it was not necessary for the story, just having those little edges sprinkled in there, I
Yeah.
always appreciate it.
It's nice.
Yeah.
I don't think the movie's lessened by it. I just
No.
think, you know.
No.
I think they could have been more clever in how they used Zenigata and when he shows up to foil Lupin, because he shows up at like the most useless times
Yeah.
to interrupt him.
It's when the plot doesn't know where to go from here.
Yeah. Like he shows up when he's escaping the prison island thing, and then it's really kind of just because of that Lupin ends up in the Amazon, which I'm also like, wait a minute.
Yeah,
What?
he ends up in the Amazon, wakes up, is eating coconuts. Tidal wave!
Yeah,
What?
yeah, that whole sequence. I swear to God, I had to rewind it for a second. So I was like, did I miss a scene?
Yeah.
Because like he's
Yeah.
he's getting dragged away by sharks, and then we just hard cut on an island drinking from coconuts.
The whole middle section of the movie has like no linking scenes. Lupin just ends up in the Amazon, and then he meets like the
He meets
older-
Go Diego Go.
he meets Diego.
I think it's Sergio,
Sergio is the name of the character.
because that's the other stereotypical
Yeah.
like, Amazon
Yup.
name.
And then like he takes him to the old woman, and the old woman brings in Fujiko, but she's called Tanya.
Yeah. The old woman, by the way, that won't let Sergio sleep in the hut. He sleeps on the boat because he's a little shit, apparently.
And then like Lupin's like, oh well, I'm better now after like 30 seconds.
After
Yeah.
naked Fujiko
Because
lays next to him.
Anya, who's not Fujiko at this point, because she's still hypnotized, decides, I'm gonna strip
Yeah.
and just cuddle with him and then leave.
Yep.
I don't know why.
Yeah,
I mean, I sort of got it in the sense of like, you know, give him body heat and stuff, but then she only lies there for like 10 seconds and
Yeah.
then just leaves. It's like, yeah, that's not how that works.
No, and I don't want to say Granny could have done it, but Granny could have done it.
Yeah, but we wouldn't
I also
get
feel like
naked
Granny would have died.
Maybe, I don't know.
I mean, she wasn't
would've
much
got,
of a character anyway.
hypothermia or something from doing that.
She wasn't much of a character.
My
anyway.
point being
Sorry.
that then Lupin just ends up in like a room that has Julia, the little kid, and Fujiko, and there's no linking moment there. It's just he like is sneaking around somewhere, opens a door, and it's like, oh,
Here you
Child.
there's the child and there's Fujiko, and it's like, wait, how did you get into that place? Why are you sneaking around it? And how did you find this fucking room?
And how did the child get there?
How did the child get there?
She's the hostage. Did they just misplace her?
And then yeah, he gets put in like a prison cell and stuff, and then stuff happens. And
Yeah.
then, yeah, that is the middle portion of this movie. It can only be described as stuff happens.
Yeah.
Yeah. We don't know why or how.
We
but
needed
it's
to
just-
get the beginning of this movie to connect to the end of the movie. We weren't entirely sure
Like-
how.
I don't want to say the whole Sergio bit could have been cut.
Yeah.
Because they try to make it emotional, but by the end being like, what are you going to do with the money? Buy Sergio a new boat. I'm like,
Okay.
I don't care.
That's going to
It
cost
was-
you like $40.
Yeah.
At most.
The first
have
thing
a
I
million.
said when they said that was, buy him a boat, you can get him a fucking yacht.
Yeah. I'll buy him a new
Or
canoe.
better yet, just take him out of the fucking Amazon.
Yeah.
What if Sergio likes the Amazon?
I don't think he'll complain about living a life of luxury.
Let him have his go Diego go show.
Doggy Eagle.
Doga boga bo.
Bogatigable.
Sergio. You need to stop making noises. It's going to sound very racist.
Yeah, as it's straying into a little bit of.
I will say that it was stupid as fuck with that little like part at the end when Lupin and like the little kids they were gonna just get him a boat. That was kind of cute. I found it kind of cute.
I guess.
Again, they have a million.
Exactly.
Still,
Like, from a 4-year-old, I expect it.
From Lupin.
No. If at the same time they said something different, it would have been funnier.
Yeah.
oh yeah, that would have been hilarious.
Yeah, and then, she
don't
can
know.
go for another, a pedo.
Also, this film just ends.
It does just end.
Unlike every other Lupin movie that has 7, 8 endings.
Yeah, this one just stops.
They just stare at the destroyed tower, and the credits just roll.
And it's the credits are initiated with a part of the building just fucking falling off.
Yeah, I was like, you guys gonna move? That's
Because
gonna
I'm
come
like,
down.
are we getting like another 5 minutes where like the villain's not going to be dead or something, or
Yeah,
someone's
right.
going to show up?
Is it gonna be like plot is gonna still keep playing while the credits are rolling? No.
That's what I thought. I'm like sitting through them, like, okay, when are we?
Wait.
Are we just
That's it.
staring at this? It's been 5 minutes.
Yeah, the whole building. Which I'm like, yeah, I know you keep making the Tower of Babel, like, comparison there, but it's the clearly evil layer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, he has his face on him. I'm like, well, that's the first red fucking flag.
The guy's an asshole.
Yeah, like all he cares about is his whole presidential candidacy. He's not even in the running yet. He just has to announce it.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
hasn't announced it yet.
Yeah, and they're like, don't announce it or we'll kill your child. I'm like, just don't announce it. Just do it.
I mean, he's too much of a vain dick.
Yeah, because he's
Yeah.
like, just think of what this will do for my approval numbers or
He's-
the fucking polls or whatever.
He's Trump, isn't he?
He is Trump. 20 years before Trump.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like he could have milked the shit out of it. Like,
I mean, that's kind of what they were implying he was going to do at
Yeah.
the start, and then he didn't.
yeah, like if he just went to the president and be like, they have my child, I can't run anymore. That's gonna get you so many sympathy votes. Like, they'll change
Yeah.
the rules. You can start running later. It's no problem.
Yeah.
America.
Look, the movie isn't smart.
No,
No.
It's a Lupin film, so I wasn't expecting it to be.
but some sense of they know what they're doing would have been nice.
This is the thing, is there's like no real established motive for why the Nostradamus sect want the book, other than
Power.
yeah. But at the same time, would it give them power? Like
They don't explain this whole
Nostradamus sect?
thing.
No.
They just say, I predict the end of something big. Like,
We get
Okay.
one scene that sort of gives an idea of what his motive is when they do the weird Blofeld reveal scene, even though we know who he is.
Yeah, like you know who it is as soon as
You open the door,
Yeah.
and you hear him.
yeah.
But like if I remember right, he talks about like we're going to rule the world after it's destroyed or whatever. So it's like he actually believes this shit, but also he doesn't.
yeah, it's because the weird thing is like, sure, he may believe in it, but all the stuff he's like, oh well, this happened and this is what this quatrain means. They caused all the shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like, this tree's gonna fall down tomorrow. They start chopping the tree. They're like, well, yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
It's not really
Yeah.
a belief if you're making it happen.
like at the as the initiation of like the last act of the film, where it's like, what does this quatrain mean? And he's like, it means this tower is gonna fucking blow up. It's like,
I
well,
believe
yeah.
I believe that this kid's gonna get shot. Why? Because I'm gonna shoot them.
oh, well, then that's not really a prediction, is it?
No, no.
A warning.
Well, it is. I'm just making it happen.
The this is a tall fucking tower. Like,
It is really
Oh,
tall.
like
it
they
is.
say 100, 200 floors.
Something like that.
It is a city in and of itself.
Yeah, like they build it to be a city, but they don't make it look big enough from the outside.
No, it's like a TARDIS.
Yeah, like they're like, we have football fields, we could host the Olympics in here. I'm like, yeah, but then you show us that a plane fits in the mouth bit. Which,
Yeah.
of course, as soon as they were like, we're gonna land, I'm like, don't tell me the mouth's gonna open. Don't fucking
Yeah.
tell me the mouth's gonna open. And they don't show. They don't show. You just see something opening. It's, oh, that's a fucking mouth.
Yeah.
And then the little tarmac like runs out like a tongue. I don't want to say it's predictable, but
The fact they land a Chinook in there, those things are fucking massive.
From the out, every external shot of this building makes it look sort of just like that one building in, is it like Saudi Arabia or Dubai? Or,
oh yeah, yeah.
like the
the-
actual tallest building in the world.
I was thinking about you know how they went make a long strip of building in Saudi Arabia as well, where they just everyone lives within this like long line of building.
I think I know what you're talking about, yeah,
Yeah.
but I was thinking of like the really tall one, and
Oh,
even
The
yeah,
Burj
that,
yeah.
Khalifa.
Hmm?
The Burj Khalifa?
I don't know the name.
I think I know which one you're talking
All I know,
about, yeah.
all I know is that Tom Cruise fucking
Yeah, it was-
claimed it.
I think that was Burj Khalifa because also I think was it Fast 7 or something? They did like a car
No,
coming out of it.
no, that's great, but no. But yeah, I was thinking of that building and like, that's still not big enough for what's in this building.
Yeah.
Because there are like fucking football stadiums within football stadiums.
They can host
That's-
the Winter Olympics.
No, you can't.
The thing is, when you see it like from like as an aerial shot, they have like a 4 like lane highway, which is going to be like a dual carriage on each lane, running through that fucker.
Yeah, structurally, what the fuck? They
This
also
thing
have a
would
big
collapsed
pendulum.
immediately.
It's like out of a sci-fi movie. Like
Yeah.
I've seen
Uh-huh.
sci-fis do this sort of like.
And to be fair, it tries to go a bit sci-fi. With
It does.
With the 90s virtual reality at the end, fucking VR troopers.
We are VR.
They also have a giant pendulum just
Yeah, I was
swinging about in the building.
I was about to bring up the pendulum.
I forgot about the pendulum.
no wonder they bring it up once.
They bring it up twice.
Oh, twice.
Yeah, they bring it up the first time where they explain that
Because they're going up like a left and Fitch
Yeah.
goes like, and that's the big fucking pendulum right there.
that negates earthquakes. And then
No, it
the
doesn't.
only other time it's brought up is when I can't remember if it's the dad or if it's the leader of the Nostradamus sect ends up like on it.
oh, it's the leader of the sect.
Yeah,
'Cause
as it's like
I remember-
collapsing.
You can
remember
basically
thinking-
swap the characters with each
Yeah.
other.
Yeah.
The same character.
I remember thinking, like, oh, this must be a metaphor for something, but I don't care.
I love how they never ever like they explain it and then never show it being used.
Yeah, I was like, I'd like to see an earthquake, and
It's
people are like,
like-
thanks to the pendulum, this thing is still standing.
Yeah,
It's like
Oh.
set up. Are we gonna pay off? No, set up.
Like,
And it never
could've
establishes
saved-
where in America it is. But so this pendulum could be utterly useless.
I'll be honest. At first, I thought we were still in Morocco.
yeah, it took me a while
Yeah.
to be like, oh, okay.
It's not until he's sitting with the American flag behind
Yeah.
him, I'm like, we're in America?
Yeah, either this is America or this is a very elaborate embassy.
Yeah.
That is the
That's
embassy.
the embassy. But I'm like, where in America are we? Because this pendulum could just be like the most useless thing you've ever built because it's only like certain parts of America that get bad earthquakes.
So let's assume California is
Nevada.
something there.
Does,
Right next to Las Vegas.
Does any of like Los Angeles or California or Nevada have buildings that fucking tall?
No, but they could.
Because I feel like there's I feel like those states have like laws in terms of like how high the buildings can be,
Yeah, and the foundations of it and stuff like that.
But
Yeah.
he's
which you know
But
is
he's
all to do with the
rich.
fact that they have earthquakes.
Yeah. Like,
yeah, but they
just-
don't have pendulum.
This guy shows up, want to build a fucking tall building. It's like, we have regulation. Now what if?
Hear me
Big
out.
ass pendulum.
Just pulls out the pendulum card.
Let him cook.
Let him speak.
Not to worry, I have a permit.
I also
Just
want to
a
put my
blank piece
face
of
on it.
paper. Sonic. Psychic paper.
Psychic.
Yeah, it was a fucking journey.
It was. I had a lot of fun, but it didn't make any sense.
No, I think it's very much a brain off. Pretty pictures go. Brrr.
That's,
That
how, you,
was
that's how you go
basically-
into a Lupin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And with that in mind, 7 out of 10.
Thankfully, no Hitler this time.
Oh, thank
Hey,
God, no Hitler.
Yeah, I was at some point I was like, should we get an off mention or something? Like,
See, when she went into the vault, I was like, see if Hitler fucking shows up.
I was expecting another brain.
I mean, they have an eagle statue that is familiar looking in the vault.
Yeah.
Which I was like, is this the reference we're gonna get? Is this all? I was, expecting a little more, but I'll take it.
Why are we disappointed by the lack of Hitler references?
It's happened twice, which isn't a lot. It's just
If
weird.
I had a penny.
It's just that sort of thing, like when it happens more than once, and it was like kind of consecutively that it happened.
Yeah.
For us, anyway.
It's now sort of expected. It's like, is it gonna happen again?
Yeah.
I mean, Nostradamus could be a reference too, perhaps, because he's making it up as he goes.
With
as
the
we
way the
find
banners
out.
were held. Yeah.
Yeah, he does kind of have like especially when you see him at the start of the movie, he's like a cross between the Pope and Hitler.
Yeah, also, he shows up in Vatican City. You're not allowed to do that in Vatican City. So this one my boyfriend watched with me, and we were just debating. He's like, how did he get there? Like,
I'll
how
be
is this
honest, I
allowed?
didn't even know that
And
was in
then
the Vatican City.
I just
Yeah,
was like,
I must have blanked that.
Yeah.
the first thing I thought was, like, he's killed the Pope. he's murdered the Pope.
Honestly, I was expecting him to be the Pope or something like that.
Yeah. They could have easily been like, the Pope's gone evil, and I'm like, this is a great fucking
Yeah, like
movie.
the
I
whole
love this.
Nostradamus
He's
sect
Pope
being,
too.
the whole Nostradamus sect being like the Vatican Church or something like that would have made like at least some more sense.
Because now that, to me, they were more painting like the Mayans. Because they're like, this is going to happen in this year, and we have our own calendar and
Yeah.
quadrants.
Quatrains, so it's like
Quatrain,
a rhyming scheme of 4 or something.
Yeah.
Fucking weird like that. I only
Would've
know
made
what a
sense.
quatrain is because of the book Ready Player One. Because it's
Well, that's disgusting.
it is a heavy focus of part of the plot, and
great.
it goes in depth. And I'm like, why am I reading this book?
And then you read the sequel.
I did. That was fucking awful. Ready Player One is like a great kind of guilty pleasure book. Like I'll put on the audiobook and just listen to that, and it's like it's dumb, it's fun. Ready Player Two is just fucking awful. Anyway.
It's been a journey.
I'm
trying to think of this-
Not one to the stars.
No. At least there was no big brain rocket.
Yeah. But we did have a terrorist attack on a vaguely familiar tower
Yeah, with bombs.
with bombs,
In
and
the
that thing
90s.
got fucking devastated.
Oh yeah.
Also, the bombs were placed by the Brazilian soccer team.
With footballs.
Was a weird Maradona reference? I don't know if anyone caught the
No, I
vaguely
didn't.
Maradona looking guy.
I
mean,
did. I'll be
yeah.
honest, I did.
But he was Argentinian and not
Oh
Brazilian.
yeah, so you're off.
Yeah.
So close!
Because I seen him and I'm like,
The ankle of God.
because I seen like the hair and the beard and I'm like,
Is it?
surely not. And I like looked up Maradona and it's like Argentinian and I'm like,
No.
you got the spirit, but you're a little confused.
Yeah.
But they make it seem like the whole, like this evil guy made the Brazilian team come to the building so he
There's-
could hypnotize them because they have such good aim
Well,
to then get football bombs stuck in nooks and crannies.
I hate that the moment Fujiko reveals that the bracelet is like a mind control device, is you remember the beginning of the
Yeah.
movie and you're like, are you fucking serious?
The fact that the Brazilian football team is such a big plot.
Yeah.
Like, what would, because they portray it's like, okay, the Brazilian football team's coming for Julia's birthday, but there's evil guy who's like, or I use them to get my football bombs all
We kicked
over
the bombs
building.
in the strategic
Would
place.
kicking a football that's also a bomb like detonate the bomb?
There's
want it-
timers.
I want an edit now where like the first one that kicks it just immediately blows it up, and we just cut to the end of the movie.
Like either the kick is gonna blow it up or it landing where it's supposed to go with the sheer fucking velocity.
Because, like, yeah, they don't make it seem, the balls are not sticky.
No, they just
make it
lodge
go-
them in places.
They really lodge them, but even the best players in the world
Yes.
could not do that. Just
No.
let me get it in there. Where do you want it?
I mean, has
Got
anyone
it.
watched a fucking penalty shootout at the end of any football game?
But there was no goalkeeper, so they could do whatever.
They still don't fucking hit
Yeah.
more than 50% of the time.
It's just the fact that, you have Mystery Mama, which features Hitler, and you have this with the Brazilian
Brazilian
football
football
team.
team. That's the thing for this movie. Every Lupin has to have a thing.
They have to have some,
Gagliostro had
grounding
those.
to reality.
The clan.
Yeah, the clan. Mamo had Hitler. The first also had Hitler. I don't know why we had Hitler twice, and this movie has the Brazilian football terrorists.
They need to be like, no, this is real life. This is not some different universe. Look, we have the Brazilian football team.
What did Dead or Alive have? Wario and Waluigi at the start?
I guess.
Ish.
Kinda.
They had Nazis, right?
No, the first had like secret Nazis.
Oh, is a secret Nazi still a Nazi?
Yeah.
Gotta tell you.
But Dead or Alive?
Dead or Alive didn't really have anything stand out, I don't think.
No.
Disappointment.
Oh, it had the rebellion resistance thing, but that's not like a real life
Thingy. Yeah.
Well,
They
I mean
had-
it is, but not in like a direct reference to anything
Yeah,
specific.
Now I'm more disappointed by that movie because they didn't ground me in reality with the Brazilian football team.
Yeah, there wasn't anything in.
I also want to state it was funny that like when the Brazilian football team got like hypnotized, they had different colored eyes.
Yeah,
That none of the other hypnotized people had.
there was like red, white,
There was yellow.
yellow. It was really weird.
Yeah. They all had a unique color.
I love just mentioning the Brazilian football team. It's such a nice sentence to just throw in.
Yeah.
When the Brazilian football team won.
Can we talk about the fact, by the way, that the Nostradamus guy has like sex trafficked girls following around him, and they're never really freed?
No.
They just sort of disappear after Fujiko gets unbrainwashed.
Yeah, there's like a kind of
yeah.
weird
Yeah.
subplot where like when
That's a bit
Lupin's
fucky,
going
isn't
into
it?
that prison to like meet his
Uncle.
yeah,
We
sure.
went through this whole thing without mentioning he has an uncle now.
That's a weird interpretation of the dub because they just call him old man.
Yeah.
Oh, they call him uncle.
Ah, weird. Because it's old man, whatever his name is.
Old man
And this-
Philip.
Philip.
They-
They just call him old man Philip.
Oh, they specifically say that he's his uncle in the dub.
Stop
Yeah.
watching the Funimation dubs.
But I like the dub. It's funny.
Yeah, and then so old man Philip. Let's talk about that. He drowns.
Wait, no. We can't go from sex trafficking women just yet. We need to.
Okay, yeah. Let's ground that.
let's finish that thought.
Yeah. Because he goes into the prison, and like when he's on his way in there, he sees Fujiko, who's coming out as part of like a lineup of comfort women.
Yeah,
It's
they
very
said
Handmaiden's Tale.
Like they say servants.
No, they say that they bring them in for like visitation or something like that. Like there's a weird
know.
kind
They-
of.
they make it-
There's a weird vibe.
They
Yeah.
make it sound like it's voluntary, but clearly
It's clearly not.
I mean, when we find out she's brainwashed later, it might be voluntary, but she doesn't have any fucking memory of it.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Ugh.
Yeah, no, creepy. Very creepy.
Yeah. But yeah, old man Philip, sorry.
Yeah, so he finds old man Phillips. They escape from where they are.
Yeah.
They drown. Then fucking Lupin's like, let me take a keepsake.
And
His
then
eye.
it turns out to be plot relevant.
Yeah, the glass eye.
But let's talk about how the fact that like they're like drowning, right?
Yeah.
And he's just kind of like, oh well, I guess old man Phillips is dead, and just like leaves him. But if he was dead, his body would float. His body sinks. He just let that old man die.
To be fair,
Lupin!
he does go throughout that whole scene after he's dead, like just holding him around, like, "Hey, why are you speaking to me, bro?"
Yeah,
What's happening?
like,
I mean, he could have been unconscious.
His
do you
eyes are
think
wide
Lupin-
open, my god.
Yeah.
Are they?
Yeah.
I mean, one of them is bound to be because it's a fake eye.
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know?
Like,
I just find that whole thing weird. It's like that
They're underwater for so long.
they are.
And then he just take eyeball. It's a keepsake. That's how he phrases it. A keepsake.
keepsake.
Yeah, and it's like, surely this won't be relevant later
Yeah.
to the plot.
I was like, oh, there we go. There's the MacGuffin.
Also, was old man Phillips? Did he already only have one eye prior to
They didn't
breaking
s-
into the tower, or
I
did
don't think
he
they showed
scoop his own eye out to
think-
put that fake eye in?
I think that was the implication.
Scoop.
Gotta do what you gotta do.
It's like that one part in like what Dead Space.
Oh, don't remind me of that. Jesus. Oh, that's one of my. I love Dead Space. I fucking hate that part of the second game. It's so. Oh.
I think that's the point.
Yeah, for context, Melina,
thanks.
you get to the end. So in Dead Space 2, you're like on a like space station thing. You've been like imprisoned or whatever, and like this religion that worships the marker. I think it's called.
I don't know enough.
You haven't played either of them.
Yeah, I just know the scene.
Yeah. It turns out the marker like infects them and turns them into like necromorphs, which are like
Space zombies.
space zombies, but like
Zombies, got it.
spiky appendages and bleh.
Spiky space zombies, blah. Got it.
Monsters.
And you're like kind of trying to take them down in the second game. And you get to this point where like you're kind of infected, and I can't remember the full context for this scene because I haven't played it in like 10 years.
Yeah, they've got to like replace like your eye. Or
You've got to like take your own eye out,
Tasty.
and you have to do it as like an actual event in the game.
Yeah, like manually.
Like manually, you control like this needle. You got to like center it over like the blacks of his eyes, and then like initiate it, like go, and you see everything. It's fucking horrific.
Oh,
Yeah,
that must
no,
be
no
double
thanks. Like, no
horrible for
thanks.
you.
Yeah, I fucking hate needles. I think if they remake the second game, they'll probably end up adding an option to skip that. I fucking hope.
That's fucked up. Anyway, what were we talking about? Old man died.
Old man Phillips taking his own eye out.
Yeah.
Scoop.
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 God, I think that's the whole movie. Nothing makes sense, so there's no no point in talking plot.
No. It's just like a sequence of
We
events.
say as
that-
we've talked plot for like
Yeah.
a lot of this.
It's really just like a sequence of events that are loosely tied together to make a Lupin adventure.
Yeah.
And I'm
Yeah,
not
it's-
against that.
I sort of mentioned this. It sort of weirdly makes it what I imagine the show is like. Not exactly, obviously, but
No, the show makes more sense.
I know it makes more sense. It just, I don't know, compared to the other movies.
I would say, like, in terms of, like, I guess stakes, this is more what the show's like. Take away the terrorist plot,
Yeah.
which Lupin kind of has no real
Real-
direct
no.
impact or lack thereof.
Because they
on
blow
it.
up anyway. He
Yeah.
doesn't do anything to stop that.
And he only becomes aware of it at a point where he can't do anything about it.
Yeah, because the main guy, like terrorist guy, who's not the sect leader.
Yeah. Also, that
Is-
is
is-
Goemon's only function in
Yeah.
this movie, is to show up and go,
Slice.
Yeah, he does the anime.
yeah.
And then like the main bad guy goes into the VR torture chamber.
Mm-hmm.
Because that happened.
Yep.
And then he sets them off.
Yeah.
Also, there's a VR torture chamber that this kid regularly plays in.
Yeah.
Well, she doesn't
Get
like
tortured.
she
but
doesn't get tortured because she is
Still, it's a
allowed.
bit fucked.
It is a bit fun.
Yeah. Oh.
It's such a 90s interpretation of VR as well.
Yeah.
The helmets. It's all.
And the fact that like he's just suspended in midair. It's like how are you doing that?
It's VR. It's VR. You don't know VR, bro?
It's not how VR works.
That's not how VR works.
It's VR. It's not
You can't
even
just
VR.
put in a helmet and go like full deep dive.
No, this isn't fucking SAO.
Score.
7 out of 10.
7 out of 10.
It's 6.5 for me. Yeah. Can't say why. Maybe the nudity from Fujiko just was like, ugh, a bit too much for me.
Fair enough.
Fair.
Yeah.
I did see this Reddit post that I sent to Shaun that was like, I really love the intimacy between Fujiko and Lupin in this movie. And I'm like, I'm sorry, she is brainwashed in all of the... Like, they show the 4, like, screenshots of, like, her lying next to him,
The non-consensual kiss.
the non-consensual
Yeah.
kiss, and I'm like...
My dude, did you watch the movie?
Yeah.
That was my thing, and I was like... None of the comments on this post brought that up either.
To be
I was
fair,
like,
it wasn't a very popular post. It only had like 12.
yeah, but still, no one mentioned it.
Nah,
That would have been my first thing.
Yeah.
It's like,
My guy.
my guy.
dude. It's a bit fucky.
Yeah. Oh well, this has been a
long one.
long one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for listening to this. So yeah, join us next time. I guess. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.